It is a beautiful day in the DIY Detail Garage because Ivan LaCroix finally is squeegeeing. I've been doing this, I feel like, for weeks now. It's nice to see someone else squeegeeing a never-ending stream of water. Look, in the past video, we decontaminated this paint, which means water spot remover and iron remover used in separate steps. We did a thorough wash. We knew this was coated paint at one point, but it was not behaving like coated paint, Ivan, and that is what we are here to remedy today.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Yes, this beautiful little Subaru here is about to be recoated. Many of you have asked, how do I recoat my car? There's some of you out there that are enthusiasts that love to experiment and play with different coatings. So you want to try a different coating every year. That's fun, that's great. But how do you make sure your paint is ready to accept that new coating?
We don't actually have to remove the coating, we just need to abrade it. It all starts, of course, with the proper preparation. If you missed that video, you've seen a little bit of the B-roll so far with my long and winding intro. There's a description in this video, link to the video is in the description. But this vehicle is about to get shinier, cleaner, and more coated.
Exactly. So follow along, off we go. The first step in preparing this for coating has been done in the other video. That was the washing, the decontamination. But now we're ready to polish. The reason we're polishing, we're not trying to remove the existing coating, we're trying to abrade it. We'll be doing so with our gold pad, gold standard polish, and our 25mm stroke DAs.
How do you know, Ivan, as I get my polisher ready here, how do you know which pad to choose with what machine?
Normally, it's called the test spot, where we do a test spot, but we know that this paint is actually in good shape. It's not scratched up. The owner actually does take care of it, but we want to abrade it. And the gold pad is just enough to do that. We could use the wool pad, no need to be that aggressive. And the red waffle pad isn't enough.
You do this long enough, you realize what the yellow can do. It'll give you cut, it'll give you shine. If there's ever a question and you just want a little bit of both, on your dual action machine, this is wonderful. I kind of like the wool on white or gray paints, Ivan, because I feel like it gives you plenty of cut and finishes down super nice. But we're not going for defect removal. We're just abrading, right? We're trying to preserve as much clear coat as possible. So I'm just trying to walking through like my thought process to get to yellow would be, gosh, I think wool might give it more brightness because it cuts more, but we don't really need that.
No, we don't need it. Like I said, the vehicle is well maintained. It's not scratched up. It's hand washed. It's not taken through a car wash. So for that side of it, we don't need to abrade the paint that much. We just need to get that coating ready to accept a new one.
You're using our prototype.
Yes.
I'm using the corded. Doesn't mean one is better than the other.
No, they're both 25mm stroke machines. They both go the same speed. They both have the same pad. Now, before applying the polish, we need to dampen the pad. I'm gonna be using rinseless wash in a spray bottle. Of course, diluted 256:1. Couple sprays on the pad, run it through the pad washer. Lift it up, speed 6, and then 1 spray of the gold standard polish. Not 2, not 3, just 1. And we're ready to polish. Very important when you're washing your vehicle, never forget these areas here. They're very important. You can see the oxidation that I pulled off this roof rack here. Turn my pad black. Nothing to worry about. A few sprays of rinseless wash, pad washer, it'll be back to normal. down here, and while I'm passing by, dry the wheels off with a bit of ceramic gloss, add my tire dressing, and we can take this out of the equation.
If you have the old pad washers that we featured in our videos, I love to just put my short nap towel on the pump, and there's my rinseless wash. Or spraying it on the towel as you're doing, Ivan, works great as well. We just want it basically wrung out, so we don't want it super wet anyway, but it's just about getting it all primed, right?
Yeah, just damp. We call it a rinseless dampened towel for a reason.
Yeah, why do we wipe off polish residue with a rinseless dampened towel, Ivan?
Well, it makes the residue removal easier because the surfactants break down a little bit of the oils, so we don't have to use as much pressure or as many passes for that matter. Let it air dry a little bit before wiping it with a dry towel.
Ivan, what should it feel like with the short nap towel dampened with rinseless wash? For folks out there who may be just used to the dry towel buff or wipe.
It should be effortless. It should be easy to do. And if you're feeling a bit of drag, you might actually be using a towel that's a little too thick for the job. I love to use a very, very short nap pearl weave towel.
It may be short nap, but it might not be short enough.
Right.
So just one variable that maybe you run into, hopefully this helps you out. Short nap for the wipe off is ideal.
The shorter, the better.
I used to think the plusher the towel, the better, Ivan.
That's a common misconception in the industry. People think thicker is better, plusher is better. It's not always the case. There are places and times for a low nap towel.
What are your favorite times for a plush towel?
The secondary wipe on a coating and the secondary wipe here.
Yep.
That's about the only plush towels that I use.
I like them for a final wipe on wheels too. I'm not sure why, but.
Yeah, on wheels they're fine. Using a wooden toothpick really helps to clean up the edge of the paint protection film that's on the door here. That way we don't have that unsightly dark line. On this paint, there is a partial paint protection film. And when we see a partial paint protection film, that always means there's a little line because the paint protection film actually shrinks over time, leaving a glue line. One easy, safe way to remove it is a toothpick. Just line it up on the edge and run it along there, and you can see it just lifting the dirt out of that edge. No pressure on the toothpick. Just follow the line. When we wipe that off, we now have a much cleaner edge. Look here versus there. Next step, panel prep. Now, we're going to combine this panel prep on the windshield, but C6 app everywhere else. The reason we're putting panel prep on the windshield is very simple. We'll be using C6 hydro glass. So a couple sprays on one side of the towel, go over the window, and then before it can dry naturally, flip the towel and do the other side. I have the window all prepped for C6 hydro glass, but we'll get to that. We'll get back to that in a few minutes. I have my little DA sander ready to go with the red waffle pad on it. Nice soft pad. That is the only pad we recommend for C6 app. 3 drops, and I'm going to start with the roof since I have the platform here. Then I'll be able to switch the platform over to Nick so he can do his side of the roof.
Is it worth me just wiping off your side, or should we just handle half and half?
It's up to you.
What's going to be faster?
Either way, it's the same thing. With the app, we're spreading the product. We're not trying to polish. We've already done the polishing step. So we're just applying app. I have more than enough on my pad. I was about to put more on, but I don't need to.
How do you recommend applying the app, Ivan? Every once in a while, you get a little spicy and you tell me you can do 3 drops right next to each other.
Yeah, you sure can. You want your pad covered. That's what's important.
Ivan, talk to me about pad cleaning with app. When do I do it? How do I know I've got a clean pad? Do I need it wet, dry, in between passes? I'm curious.
We need a dry pad, and no, you don't clean it during steps. You clean it before you start applying the app.
Is it better to err on the side of too much app or not enough?
Not enough.
It's really hard to know, especially on white paint. Do I have any app left on here? Now, Nick, me, that kind of person, 3 more drops, I'm gonna way overuse it. It's gonna be hard to wipe off, right? It's hard to wipe off if you have too much app on. So how do I really know?
You take your polisher, you press it up against the window, and if you see residue, keep going.
I was gonna reapply. I just did tap on the glass, as you said.
Yeah.
And I can see every undulation of the waffle, so I'm not gonna reapply app. I just did this door after not reapplying as per Ivan's instructions. This is what it looked like before, so I knew I had app on my pad. I'm gonna do another test because it felt like I was getting a little dry. I've still got plenty on there, Ivan. See, I would have been just loading up my pad.
Yeah.
I can't believe I still have enough on there.
No need. Wiping off the app, we use a dry towel. Making sure to get in all these emblems. This is our last chance to inspect, making sure that everything is clean, pristine, and ready for coating. I like to carry a second towel with me. We wipe app off with a dry towel. If you have a little drip of water, pick it up with another towel first. App can get difficult to wipe off if your towel is damp, if you put too much app on, or if you picked up water while applying it.
I'm done applying app, Ivan. I'm probably going overboard, but I sprayed some all clean in my pad. Then I'm gonna put it in the pad washer, spin it out. It might be excessive, but I want my pad clean for the next time I use app.
Yeah, I just use rinseless wash.
That's probably all you need. Ivan, I love the rotary jeweling process.
Yes.
I think my new favorite process is app. So the common denominator is that red pad, the red jeweling pad.
Yes.
Maybe it's the Fendo palm sander that we just used. I thoroughly enjoy this process. Maybe it's because I feel like I'm not trying to do anything, I'm just trying to color everything in, but I know it's deep cleaning. I know it's gonna be enhancing the durability of my coating. I know it's gonna gloss up the paint a little bit. I don't know, you've converted me. I don't know if that's worth anything to you, but.
Yeah, no, the app is just it's one of those little incremental advancements in the industry. It's not game changing, but it does make life.
Says who?
Well, I'm not a proponent of game changing. We'll put it that way. Let's just say we've improved the game.
So if you've improved it, you've changed it.
Yeah, I guess. You're more of a hypester than I am, so. And a hipster for that matter. I'm just an old guy.
All I know is Subarus are looking a lot hipper when they get app on them.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. As a Subaru owner, I know.
Definitely much glossier than when we started, and slicker, and cleaner.
It's interesting with the app on plastics, Ivan. I feel like it just almost absorbs into the pores.
Yeah, it deep cleans the plastic and doesn't absorb into the pores, but it actually pulls out any oxidation. That's why you get a plastic that feels and looks cleaner.
You like the 2-towel method for app? Or just one?
Just one, but I carry a second towel in case there's a drip of water somewhere. Today we'll be applying 2 different coatings to this vehicle. Hydro Glass to the windshield and C6 Hydro Light to the paint. But the Hydro Glass first. Hydro Glass is something you want to leave on as long as you can. 7 or 8 drops on my applicator pad. And just gently work it into the window. So box in all the edges first and then fill in the center. Want to make sure you're getting it everywhere, but you don't have to go over and over and over it again. Once is enough. Make sure I've got the corners and move to the other side. I'm adding 2 drops to my applicator and continuing on. Now the C6 Hydro Glass will get hazy looking on the window. That's what we want. It's going to continue to haze over, and we can leave it almost as long as we want. Minimum of 15 minutes. If you can leave it an hour, so be it.
What about Hydro Glass application outside? Any variables worth noting?
No, not really. You want to be above freezing. And a little tip, turn the heater on in the car, put the defroster on, that's going to warm the window up.
The hood looks stunning even before coating, Ivan.
Yeah, and it's going to look even better once we coat it.
It's shimmering under these lights.
It is. You know, the car was previously coated. The coating was still around, but not too much. But by polishing it, using the app, we've really improved the look of the vehicle, and Hydro Light's going to make it even better.
I like fresh towels when ceramic coating. Now I know, Ivan, you're a towel renegade.
Once they're laundered, they're fine.
I like clean towels for...
There's an easy way to open these, Nick. There's a little flip here. And all you have to do is open that. You don't need to rip the packaging apart.
Ivan, I've seen you use towels that have been laundered 10 times for ceramic coatings. You're hardcore. I like a new, freshly unwrapped, dynamic duo.
Yeah.
At least my leveling towel I want to be new.
Right. There's really no concern if you're laundering properly. And that's where a lot of this comes in. You need to use a soap that is free and clear of any colorants, softeners, or bleaches. So one that rinses away cleanly, leaves nothing in the towel, and you'll be fine.
And I'm just inspecting this other plush buffing towel.
Yep.
Making sure there's nothing in there that might drive into the paint. We're clear. So we're excited, we're ready to go.
So C6 Hydro Light, very simple. Like any of our coatings, we want to get the applicator wet and primed first. So I'm going to put a little more than I need to. So about 10 drops. And then I'm going to start in the center of the hood. Now, being a white vehicle, it's very, very difficult to see where the coating is and where it isn't. And that's where experience comes in. Now, if your first vehicle is a white one, you're gonna have to study a little more. But we can actually see the rainbowing on this a little bit, not much. But one thing you can do is a towel test. So I've covered this whole section, and what we can do is 30 seconds in, take your leveling towel and try to level a small section. And if it feels like you're moving liquid around, wait another 30 seconds. Then move to another section. Oh, it's getting a little easier. We'll give it another 30 seconds. Yeah, and we can actually see the rainbowing here, so pretty good. And the rainbowing is about 50% gone. When it's 50% gone, normally that's when we start wiping off.
Or leveling.
Leveling. And basically all we're doing is removing the excess of solvents that are in the coating. And yeah, so now it's super smooth, so off you go, Nick. But if you can't see that rainbow effect, you want to do that little towel test. And you can do it on the tinted glass, just like we did the app. You can do it on the glass. That way, you can see what you're doing.
If you level too quickly, it's not the end of the world. Your towel is just going to get a little wet.
Yeah.
I do highly recommend having 2 towels though. This is my insurance wipe towel. I'm going over the lines. I am intentionally coloring outside the lines. Ivan is intentionally doing the same thing as he applies. We are trying not to miss any spots in our panel. We will go outside the lines intentionally as we do so, and it's my job to level those away in case I don't, we will have high spots.
Right.
But this way we're not going to miss anything in our panels.
Yep. So this side of the hood is done, Nick.
Like squeegeeing, I take leveling very seriously. Not the sexiest job, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Do it well.
And if you're new at coatings and you're working with someone with experience, you actually want the person with more experience leveling than applying.
I like you leveling because I always lose track of where I am, Ivan. The red light goes on the camera and I black out. Where am I?
The brain goes into neutral. So front fender, including the plastic.
One high spot, hot spot of many. We call it the widow's peak, kind of like on someone's head, right? It's this V area here and on the windshield where for some reason we often forget to level. So don't forget about that spot as you're coating. Oh, that's easy. I mean, that's going real smooth.
Yeah.
I'm way over that fender. Front fender, rear quarter.
Right.
So it's not a rear fender.
Depends on the vehicle. So
We know what you're talking about.
I've been BMW. Well, there is a difference. So a fender is normally a part that is bolted on, whereas a quarter panel is welded in or glued in these days. As an example, my BMW Z3 has a bolted on rear fender, not a quarter panel.
Oh, so it can be a rear fender.
Right.
But it's always a front fender?
There is the occasional vehicle that the front fender is welded on as well. So I had a
So it's
Volvo
a front quarter?
They still call it a fender or a wing in that case.
Okay.
But I had a Volvo P1800 that the whole front end was welded together. It wasn't a bolt-on part. They did that to make the vehicle stiffer, but at the same time lighter weight. So I did the whole A-pillar assembly all the way to the back and the rear quarter panel, as Nick was mentioning, including the plastic. And the reason I'm telling Nick what I'm doing is he has an audible clue as to where he needs to go, and the taillight.
Do you recommend folks apply coatings as a team?
Ideally, yes. If you can, do it as a team. So a couple drops on the pad. Now I'm going to do the upper portion of the front door, Nick, including the mirror. Those of you watching at home, keep an eye on Nick, make sure he does the mirror. He has a tendency to miss the glass on the mirror for some reason. It's happened more than once. We don't know why.
And you really notice that, unfortunately.
Yeah. As soon as you get in the car, you know that that mirror is just one big high spot.
So you're not doing C6 hydro glass on anything but the front windshield?
Right. Now, we could do hydro glass everywhere, and the reason we're using hydro glass instead of the C6 Hydro Light on the windshield is because of the wipers. If you're in an area that it doesn't rain too often, you don't really need to worry about getting an extra coating for the windows. Here in Omaha, it does rain. They have weather here on a regular basis. They get snow, they get rain. So in that case, the hydro glass is a good option.
If I bought hydro glass, I would use it on all my windows.
You can, yeah.
Just because I bought it, I would do that.
Yeah.
That's
and there's nothing wrong with that.
I want the superior abrasion-resistant coating.
Yeah.
If you're like me, you understand. If not, I understand as well.
So the rear door window and the rear quarter panel window. And then I can do the door. Actually, I'll skip the door for now. We'll go around the whole top end of the vehicle and then come back get on our little scooters and go around the bottom. Just makes life easier on our backs.
Glass is very scratch resistant, so I'm putting a little pressure to get into these corners just on the glass, knowing that I'm not messing anything up. But I wouldn't use that technique on paint. If it were paint, I'm folded up, no pressure. But on glass, sometimes you just work it in a little bit, and you're not going to scratch it up.
So Nick, the rear spoiler, followed by the rear window.
Okay. I'm going to just triple check that I colored outside the lines on all this glass. Any potential high spots here, there, boom. Oh, that is smooth. Gotta make sure I get that chrome. All right, catch me up again. So I finished up on this side.
So the two buttresses there, the rear spoiler and the rear window, and the top portion of the hatch here. So basically things that we won't be able to reach quite easily when we're scooting around the vehicle. Down the side, I'll do the same thing. I'll start with the rear quarter panel, work my way to the front, and including the plastic here, rear window, including the chrome trim. We'll just move our way forward.
I like to level immediately on glass if I can get to it.
Yeah, glass does react a little differently than paint.
These corners are going to be your high spot, hot spot, so mind the corners. Mind the edges.
Next for me is the roof. We have a nice platform to get on here. So we're not reaching and we're not leaning up against the doors. So a couple more drops added to the applicator and off I go. So from the front, working my way backwards. Going past the center. And when Nick wipes off, he'll be going past the center as well. And we'll do that actually on both sides. And the little shark fin, gotta protect it as well. And the roof rack.
Convenient to do C6 Hydro Glass and then do the rest of the vehicle and just wipe it off at the end, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
While Nick is finishing up on the roof, I'll inspect for high spots on the areas we've already done. And areas that you can get high spots are around mirrors, the mirror itself in Nick's case, the corners of the windows as he's already mentioned, and any intersection of panels. So far, so good.
I'm about that life, Ivan. I really do this. I'm a leveler, bro.
Yeah. Oh, did find a high spot here.
All right, here we go. Here you go, I got two for you.
I've got one here. So again, just a panel intersection here.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a high spot right there. Get the other half of the roof, and then we'll be in the home stretch. A couple dots on the applicator. Making sure to go past the center line. That way we're sure we've got the center line. And then finish up with the roof rack. Get it all nice and protected.
You know, people don't really see roofs, Ivan.
No.
But I don't ever see you slacking on the roof. So tell me your philosophy on washing, decontaminating, polishing, protecting the roof when it may be that no one ever sees it.
Well, someone taller than me would see it. And also, it's painted. It's part of the vehicle. There's no reason not to do it. Now, just because it's out of sight doesn't mean it's out of mind.
I agree with you.
Next, we go around the bottom of the vehicle. We've done all the top surfaces, everything we can reach. Now, get into a more comfortable position. We're not bending over, we're not hunched over.
Ivan, I'm big on the question why.
Yes.
Why aren't we just putting a wax? Why aren't we putting on a spray sealant? Like, why are we putting a ceramic coating on this paint?
So ceramic coating, A, lasts longer. So this won't have to be done as often. B, it protects better. So ceramic coating, yes, you can use ceramic gloss, which is ceramic infused, but it is not a ceramic coating. It's a ceramic sealant. And the difference between a coating and a sealant is obviously the carrier method, but also the amount of ceramic that's in it and what it does for you. So a ceramic coating will last longer, has much, much better chemical resistance, meaning that that bird dropping that you may get on it, those bugs that decide to end their lives on the front of your vehicle, those are cases where a true ceramic coating is going to protect your paint much better than a wax or ceramic sealant can do.
What if you use ceramic gloss after every wash? Do you need a ceramic coating?
You still can use a ceramic coating. First of all, you won't have to wash your vehicle as often. Secondly, even though there is ceramic and ceramic gloss, it doesn't offer the protection that something like Hydro Light can offer.
So you might see a lot of water beads from Hydro Light and ceramic gloss and think that they're the same kind of protection, but they're not.
Right. Beading is only one part of the story. And once you have a ceramic coating on your vehicle, trust me, you won't want to drive a vehicle without it. It really does make a significant difference.
Yes, it does. It's always impressive when you can make white pop.
Yes. And we definitely have beautiful gloss on this pearl white paint.
You don't have to have Hawkeye vision, but one thing that is helpful as you're doing leveling is looking at the paint from a different angle. So I got down here and saw that I had missed a little high spot right here on the mirror. It's worth trying different angles and different lighting, folks, if you're concerned about high spots. And I'm not saying that you're not gonna hit every paint inch perfectly, you're gonna follow the right instructions, but giving yourself permission to be human and make a mistake, I would just check at different angles if this is your first time doing it.
Yeah, check at different angles, and if for some reason you missed a spot, it's not the end of the world.
No.
You've got about half an hour to wipe it off with the towels. Past that, take your applicator and re-wet the coating. That will come up. That's good for about an hour to 2 hours. Then from there, use the app on a microfiber towel. And with the app on a microfiber towel, you should be able to knock down that high spot. And all a high spot is an excessive amount of ceramic coating. So once you've leveled out that high spot that you don't see it anymore, stop polishing. Then you don't need to apply another coating on top.
I've hit all these corners of handles about 8 times.
Yeah.
I've gone above into the window. I'm crossing the panel again for the 10th time. It's just high spot of hot spots. Right here is a spot. Right here's a spot. My goal is only to leave 3 high spots on this paint, Ivan.
Yeah, no, 0 would be even better.
I'm a double-digit guy usually, so we're going for low single digits today.
0 is a very low single digit. And this rear bumper is really soaking up the coating, meaning that it's going to benefit greatly from it.
All plastics are a little different. I know there are a lot of variables when it comes to oxidation, and certain plastics are made on the same car in different factories.
Oh, 100%.
So, like the old Chevy Avalanche,
Yeah,
how many different plastic pieces are on those?
many, too many.
They all oxidize at different rates.
Yeah, different rates, different levels of oxidation.
Yeah, if you're curious about restoring old plastic on your vehicle, we have Plastic Restore and Protect. Phenomenal product. Ivan, I'm a little stressed out.
Why is that?
Well, my brand new leveling towel has black on it, and it looks like your applicator has some black on there as well.
Right, I'm not really stressed about that.
You're not stressed?
No, it's coming off the plastics. It's normal to do so, not a big deal. And it's not transferring onto the paint, so.
We're not totally messing up all this prep?
No, not a concern at all. You know, the plastics, we could have decided to use our Plastic Restore and Protect on these, and they're sort of on the verge.
Yeah.
One way of knowing for sure is when you're polishing the plastics, if your pad is turning black very instantly, and you can see a really big demarcation between where you polished and where you haven't, then you probably need to use Plastic Restore and Protect. On this one, the polishing of the plastics, yes, it got the pads a little dark, but it wasn't a big demarcation where we polished and where we hadn't.
Yeah, they looked good from the beginning, but I knew it was a 4-year-old vehicle, so it was a little, like you said, kind of on the edge of what to do. It doesn't look like a 4-year-old Subaru, I'm gonna put it that way.
Yeah, well, it was coated from new, so that always helps. And a ceramic coating, when it comes to the end of its life cycle, it's still there. What causes a ceramic coating to seem like it's failed is fracturing, which means the surface of it looks like a desert floor after it's all dried up. But the coating is still there, and it's still helping a little bit. But you lose those hydrophobics because of all those cracks. Now, some people will put a topper on, like ceramic gloss, and just keep it going. But The owner of this vehicle knew that, he'd purchased a 3-year ceramic coating. It was 4 years in, maintains it with ceramic gloss regularly, but still, it wasn't as good as he remembered. And it definitely wasn't as good as what it will be after Hydrolite. Getting into those corners, we want to make sure everything is covered. And the door handles are an important part. Get the inside as well as the outside of the door handle. That way when the owner grabs that handle, they can feel the slickness of the coating. One of the fun parts about this applicator as well, Nick, is first of all, it doesn't absorb a lot of coating, so you're not wasting coating. But secondly, it conforms beautifully to every shape. I can get it in this little crack here between the molding and the paint with ease.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to do that.
I'm not having to put pressure on the applicator. Just a nice, simple application. Now, we've kept the front bumper for last. And we often keep the front bumper for last when we're cleaning, but as well as when we're coating. The reason for that, the front bumper is the area that you can have the most chance of having that last little drop of water sneak out on you as you're coating. And coatings are moisture activated. So a moisture activated coating, when you get a drop of water on it, all of a sudden it starts to cure up just a little faster if your applicator is wet. And we don't want that throughout the whole vehicle, but if we have that on the front bumper, we know to live with it, and we actually expect it to be that way. Can't forget the Subaru emblem.
Oh, never.
And all the glossy parts on the grill. So I did the paint up to here. Wait for Nick to catch up, because the more intricate it is, it's actually a little easier or faster to apply than it is to wipe off. I didn't get inside of there,
okay.
Just the shiny stuff. Now, you'll remember the front bumper has paint protection film on it. Our coatings go on paint protection film just like they do on paint. You don't need a special coating for your paint protection film. Paint protection film and paint are both plastic. So headlight, paint, and then I'll go back to do the plastic. As I look down the side of the vehicle, it's glossier than ever.
Truly, white paint done well is an art form. Or maybe it's just a science, I don't know. It looks incredible to me.
Yeah. Nick, one last step. C6 Hydro Glass.
This is gonna be rewarding.
Yes, it is. It's been on there for about 45 minutes now. And it just wipes off with ease, no pressure. Now, you'll notice it has a bit of an oily film. You can wipe again, that will diminish it, but it's normal to have that oily film. Come back in another 15, 20 minutes, wipe it again, and it'll be fine. Now, if you want to, you can wait about another 45 minutes and do a second coat. And in doing so, you get an even better job.
So don't try to do 2 towels right away. Give it a little bit more time if you're still having an oily film.
Yeah.
One thing I've done with you in the garage before, when I apply C6 Hydro Glass, I just put too much on there.
Yeah, too much doesn't help you.
It almost feels like we could let this sit longer.
We could. We can let it sit for a day if we want to.
So err on the side of a little bit longer time, a little bit less product, couple wipes. But know that you're getting your coating on the glass. Like, I love that I know it's there.
Yeah, and like I said, if we want to, an hour later, we can apply a second coat. It's not a necessity. If you're in an area that gets a lot of rain, then yes, it might help.
I think 2 layers is good.
Yep.
But, that's just me. I'm a 2-layer kind of guy. If 1 is good, 2 is better.
That is your method of operation, definitely. Now, Nick, if they like this video, what's another video they should be watching?
Well, it's all about ceramic coating, and it's about choosing the right ceramic coating for you. Hydrolite is an excellent one. You may want to know more about our other coatings. That explainer video is right here.